What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Underdogs podcast. We're on to episode number 9 now. My name is Jordan Daly. With me, as always, Craig Smith, Mike Taylor. Say what's up, guys.
What up?
Going on?
Craig, we got a guest. You want to introduce him?
Yeah, man. It's one of the good friends of mine. He's been a professional for over 11 years. He's played 4 years in the NBA, most notably with the New York Knicks. Also, he's played in Milwaukee with the Greek Freak. A really great person, great guy overall. Let's give it up for Chris Copeland. Yeah.
I appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for having me.
Man, no doubt, man. Just thanks for coming on, man. Like I said, man, I know you for a minute, man. We've had some good battles, especially over the last few years. I felt like this was a guy right here who really got me ready for the Big 3 season, especially in my first year.
Kind of want to, dive into your upbringing. You know, you was raised in New Jersey, moved to Virginia. Just kind of talk about your household and what it was like for you growing up.
I'm from Jersey originally. Went to high school in Virginia, as you said. My upbringing was single mother, and my brother who passed raised me, and tried to give me every opportunity to be successful and try to guide me on the straight and narrow. And I was very blessed to have the family that I had, despite the situations that we were put in at times growing up. I was raised, I believe, the right way, if there is a such thing. And I was very fortunate to have the right family around me that always guided me and wanted to push me to do better and bigger things.
I kind of wanted to just talk about, I know you said your brother passed, rest in peace to him, but can you kind of, elaborate on that just a little bit more if you comfortable with it? Just how old was you? Where you know what I'm saying? Like mentally, where was you at when your brother passed, and just dealing with death? Your first experience with, you know what I'm saying, dealing with death. Can you kind of talk about like that mental impact on that?
Yeah, I was 13 years old, and my brother was 22. He passed 29 days before his birthday. He was the one who actually, if ever you're a child, you had a death talk, and you like, death is a part of life. He was the one that actually, it's kind of ironic and crazy that he was my first real experience with it. I remember I lost a pet when I was young, and I was brokenhearted about it. And he always was just he was always there for me in every facet of life. As far as he raised him and my mother, they raised me, and it was tough to deal with that. I had to learn to grow up very quickly. I quickly became the man of the household. But that's what I think that's one of those things that me looking at to him as the man he was, and me trying to follow in his footsteps and keep that same energy and being strong and being a pillar for moms. To know that I was okay, and I try to keep that faith and keep positive energy and be strong through that process. I just kept thinking to myself, what would Quan do in those situations? Like how, he wouldn't, I shed tears for sure, but, I tried to not shed as many, if you understand me, and just try to be strong through that process for moms.
Appreciate you for that, bro. That's one thing that's, kind of common in our culture is death. But that's one thing, like, we don't get taught how to deal with the grievances and, you know what I'm saying, and just mourning over, a lost one. And to have that happen and hit home so early for you, I could just imagine, you know what I'm saying? I lost a few friends in the streets, and I just know how it happened. I know Craig, had a, situation where his family almost lost their life. You know what I'm saying? So I just understand that mentality, and then for it to just happen so early. Can you kind of talk about your high school experience?
Yeah, we moved. I moved to Richmond, Virginia, for high school. Some family stuff. We had to move. We had to move down south, and it was cool. It was cool. It was that was also a blessing. I think I got to play against some. For me, Jersey was talented, But something about Virginia at that time, I feel like the DMV area, there was a ton of talent. Like, and you talking about you playing against monsters all the time. Like, I mean, the biggest name I remember, like walking in the gym, I was playing with the Squires, and I remember there's only like a couple times in my life where I've like, oh yeah, this guy should be playing over me, like for sure. And it was Amari Stoudemire when we played on the same AAU team one time. He probably don't even remember. It's crazy. We ended up being teammates later, but he was special. He was just very different, and I got to really get a glimpse of like levels. And it happened a few times in my career, in my life, where I got rude awakenings. I got to see, okay, if I want to do something special, then I got a long way to go. I got a lot of work to do. Craig, you know what I'm talking about. I see you now. Yeah, you get to see what's there's so many levels to this thing, and if you really want it, and how hard you're gonna have to go after it, and how high you're gonna have to climb. So Virginia was my first experience with seeing how many different levels I was gonna have to go to achieve these goals.
Yeah, man, there's always those type of make or break moments, like, oh, this guy's really good. Like, this is what it's going to take to, like, I got to get here. Because it's not. It's like sink or swim, basically,
Absolutely. And that's I think that's the difference between, a lot of people. I think it's that decision. My mom was always on me about the decision. She said, find a way, make a way. Once you make the decision, you take the steps, and you make the steps towards that, and you decide to make it happen, and you make it happen. And that's, you can see the monster, you can see Goliath, right? And you say, all right, well, you can go the other way, or you face it, and I'm a God-fearing man. And, it's crazy. I'll tell you, one of my favorite stories is Troy. I don't know, you guys seen Troy before?
Yeah, who's in that?
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt, yes.
It's one of my favorite stories. I tell like a lot of like kids ask me like advice and stuff sometimes, and one of my favorite stories is like when the movie starts and they come and find him in the in the village, and they're like, yeah, you gotta fight this monster, and the kid's like, I wouldn't want to fight him, and he's like, well, that's why no one will remember your name. You know what I mean? And it's just like to be brave, and he had to wear his shield, he had to go through all the things he knew. It was a journey that he may or may not come back from. He may or may not be successful at, but he was willing to take the risk in pursuit of something more. So I think that was a great metaphor for life in that moment, just to get started. Like, all right, you know what? I see this monster in front of me. I know it's going to be a lot of work to do, but I'm willing for willing to take the challenge.
Yeah, to be fearless.
Absolutely.
For real. So why Colorado?
Again, it was a challenge. I always wanted to put myself in and at that time, the Big 12, Colorado was the Big 12, and the Big 12 when I was there was, at the time, Kirk Heinrich, TJ Ford, who else was there? John Lucas. These are names that came through there. Like, obviously after I left, then you got Kevin Durant. Is like the year before me. It's like that type of talent. Who else you can go?
Was Tony Allen was with Lucas, right?
Tony Allen was on that team. Tony Allen and the twins, if you remember them.
Yeah. Shout out TA, man.
Yeah, Tony Allen, he was there. I'm talking like like every night. You playing against NBA talent, and that was always my goal. It was the only way. I was a guy who was never seen. I never got All-Americanized. I never got looked at. So I was like, all right, let me put myself in the mix with these guys. So if I can, go, show and prove against them, then, I can maybe get a look and get an opportunity. So I wanted to go to the highest conference I possibly could. And then Colorado gave me that offer. And, talking to my mom, she definitely wanted me there, from a school perspective and, life change and everything. So that was it.
Now we have a similar, like, cool close friend too from Los Angeles that you actually played in college with. Could you elaborate on that type of like friendship? Because, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's kind of like cool that we kind of have like that 6 degree of separation with Mook. You know what I'm saying? So could you talk about that for a little bit?
Mook's the man. Me and Mook. So Mook.
Oh, sorry. Can you say his full name too, so we can
James Wright. James Wright. So shout out to Mook. He's gone. We got to send him this. my partner in crime, man. When you talking about as soon as I touched down, he understood my passion was basketball. Period. He, if I wasn't playing video games, I was in the gym. It was that simple. And he was one of those guys that was with the grind as well. So we was getting up at 6 a.m. before school, after practice, and literally just locking in, playing 1-on-1. Just me and him. You know what I mean? And like, I'm from a whole nother coast. He's a whole nother energy. I'm a whole different type of, we two different speeds, but we instantly became family. Like instantly. Just because we both had that same mission, we both had that same hunger, and we both was willing to put in that work for real. So we looked each other in the eyes and was like, all right, steel's gonna start sharpen steel, and we try to challenge each other and push each other every day, and it just led to our friendship even to this day. We talk every other day probably, and that's a lot. You know what I mean, for me. So that's my guy. I love him to death. Shout out to Mook.
Absolutely. Shout out to Mook. Shout out to James Dre.
So going through your college career, at what point did you start to think, okay, I could be good enough to go to the next level? I could be good enough to go to the NBA. And like, once you realized that, how did your preparations change?
You always believe that it's possible. Full transparency, I didn't know. You know what I mean? I'm not one of those guys that's like, I belong there. Like I always would say I was going, and I always would think that, but like I didn't start to really believe. Shout out to Jamal Mosley, Orlando Magic. He was an assistant then. He brought me to the Denver Nuggets just to do workouts with like Lennox Klayser and Melo back in the day. And Klayser came out of Missouri. He scored like 51 game in the league, and it was like, okay, and I got to like match up with this guy, and I was doing well. I'm not gonna say who, win or loss, and respect to Lennox, but like that's what was my first glimpse at. All right, these guys are actually in the league playing, putting up major numbers. Wait, I'm competing. Hold on now. I think and I wasn't. I was still in college. You know what I'm saying? Doing some of these workouts. I don't know if that was legal, but whatever. But I did a few, and it was cool. It was good for me to. That's when I started to say, despite whatever you can. I was doing well in college. Like I could get a bucket when I needed to. I wasn't like a top scorer in the nation or nothing like that. I was always under the radar, so you never really know, right? You don't really. In the back of your mind, I'm not an arrogant type of dude, so I got to prove it to myself. Is my energy. So I had the opportunity to do so with those guys, and I shout out to Jamal Mosley for actually letting me get in the gym and get to really test it and see if my moves work, if I can actually get a stop, and it was that was the time. It was around my junior year.
Shout out to Jamal. He's been around for a long time. Just to see what he's doing right now, coaching and everything. It was long overdue.
Absolutely. So proud of him. He deserves that opportunity, and big things to come from him for sure.
Absolutely.
So we're wrapping up your college career, and then draft night comes on. Can you walk us kind of through what your draft night experience was like, and what were your expectations going into it?
I knew what was gonna happen. I knew I wasn't really. The guys know. My agent. He told me I had a possibility of getting drafted like late second, maybe 1 or 2, but like we knew what time it was. It wasn't that. I wasn't a draft guy. I'm an under radar guy. I'd never been picked for nothing. It wasn't gonna start then. So I remember watching and just watching names get called, and guys that I started at that time. I started being like, I think I can do that. I know I can do this. You know what I'm saying? And I just never had the light. I felt like. And a lot of those guys had more light coming up in the AAU ranks and this, that, and the third. So I just knew then that I wasn't done, and I knew then it was going to be uphill. But I had to, keep putting one foot in front of the other.
So your mentality just basically kind of like stayed the same in that process. You know what I'm saying? Because you kind of already knew the uphill battle that you had to face and the odds that you had to beat. So my question is, how was it, your mentality, you know what I'm saying, during that whole process of, going through the draft, being undrafted, just your whole team knowing what you had to do to make your dream come true? Like how was your mental?
I mean, I'd be lying to you if I said, "Oh, I was so positive," and I was like, "It's gonna happen." Like, no, it's super frustrated,
Yeah.
sad, you know. And mind you,
Yeah.
this is a dream. We talking about my brother earlier. It's a dream that we had, and in my mind, I was failing. You know, I'm like, all right, I'm not getting there. It's not happening. Why it's not happening? Is it not in the cards? You have all of those thoughts. So I ain't gonna sit here and pretend like I was just this super strong mentally guy and nothing phased me. And I was phased. I was very phased.
Right.
But you know, that's just real. And but end all be all, I said I was very blessed to have that family foundation. That never quit mentality. I had a never quit mentality for sure. And I had great friends and people that that believed in me and they still would pick me up when when I would get down and so it was a village that helped me get to the heights that I was able to reach for sure. It wasn't only me, and I thank God that I was blessed and born into the situation where I had that foundation.
So, how did you end up in the D League? Did you go to training camp first, and then did a team tell you, "Hey," or you just went there first? When you know you could have possibly went overseas and got some paper already.
Yeah, that was actually the plan. So it got ugly. Actually, what happened was right after after I didn't get drafted, I was doing these workouts and I was still doing workouts with the Nuggets. And long story short, I'm playing against JR. I don't think he remembers this, but I remember I was jab stepping, I went up for a dunk, and I break my foot. This is in the summertime. So now I'm not drafted. I got a broken foot coming out of college, no professional experience. All the calls stopped. Everything stopped. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to my agent John Spencer. He took a risk on. Long story short, once I got healthy, I was doing some training with the 14ers. Um, that was a great team. On that team, you had Elton Brown. I'm sorry, Von Wafer, Lou Amundsen, Pooh Jeter. Right, you know,
Shout
Pooh.
out Pooh. Shout out,
Shout
yeah. Me and Pooh, I played in TPI with Pooh with a coach named Dart Stamp. Shout out Dart, but me and Pooh been going back since middle school.
That's where I met Pooh the first time. Was doing my rehab with the Colorado 14ers D League team. And once I got healthy, my agent just literally called the Fort Worth Flyers. He had a friend there. I forgot who it was, and I just went out there on a tryout, bro. Like he literally booked the flight. I remember in my head, I was like, if they're not flying me out there, like they're not gonna take this. Like it's a waste of
Yeah.
time taking me serious. He said, look, I'm buying the flight. Get on the flight, go out there and go ball out. You got one practice because we had nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Like we had
Yeah.
nothing. This is how
Yeah.
bad it got. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I could very easily not taken a flight, and who knows what the story would have been. But I took his advice. I said, all right, I try. You know, just I don't know not to try. I didn't have really had the funds. We could have figured the funds out to fly, but I just took it. Like I was like, all right, bro.
Yeah.
And he bet on me when nobody else would. And so we took the flight. I had that tryout, practice, whatever you want to call it. They liked me, and the rest was there. Then I had to take the D League in answer to your question because I had nothing else. I lost a lot of opportunities that summer when I broke my foot, and then I started getting more opportunities, which took me overseas right after the D League.
So I know like that process, like as soon as it happened, was it like a flash before your eyes? Like, how could this you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
those real deep, like I want to get like detailed because I feel like people don't understand the mind of the athlete, like some of the things we go through immediately in these situations because they could be like done deals for us almost. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I tell you, like just even now, just talking about it and thinking back, and like I say, I can't say blessed enough. You're gonna hear me say it a million times because one, I'm a God fearing man. This is just what I really believe, and I know how blessed it was because I had nothing. Like, and when you say, like you said, from an athlete's perspective, when you have nothing, it can genuinely be over very quickly. And for me, one opportunity led me to the Garden. You know what I'm saying? It took how many years,
Yeah.
but I went from the couch broken foot. I'm doing push-ups with Richard Roby in the house just to keep, he was helping me just keep my mind straight. Like,
The life
bro,
bridge.
yeah, he like, nah, we ain't done that. He was like, all right,
Dude.
all I could do was push-ups with him, right? You know what I mean? It's like, all right, we're gonna build. We can't run, but like, all right, we're gonna do something. He would just come home from practice. He was still at CU. And he was like, all right, we're gonna bang out 10, 10. All right, 10 back and forth, back and forth. And it was just little moments, and then I had to go back and sit back on the bed, like, damn, I don't know where I'm going. You know what I'm saying? Like, darkness sets in, and you spend your whole life on this, and then my brother, I'm looking up in the sky, like, damn, I'm fucking up. Like, is it me? Like, what did I do wrong? Your brain does all the things that's not necessarily your fault. You don't know how this is gonna end. So, like I said, I thank God again for my foundation that I knew, like, regardless of what it was, it ain't no quitting involved. You just gotta like figure out your situation. Like my mom always said, find a way or make a way. And I tell my youngest now, you should figure it out. Because life is gonna deal you all kind of, what is that? Why did this happen? Huh? Like what?
Yeah.
Life is gonna do this to you all day long. And that has nothing to do with basketball. That's just life. And you gotta keep pushing, because right around the corner, you never know. Like I said, 5 years later, from me having nothing on the table, foot up in the air, I'm watching Get Rich or Die Trying, thinking like, oh, that was interesting. Like watching his story.
Yeah.
And, all these people are being successful around him, and he can't even talk, and he's trying to be a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Because he got shot in the face, whatever. I hope it's not too graphic, but this is really, I remember all these moments to really watching 50 Cent on sitting courtside. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
29 and a half. That this is real stuff. That's another story. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like really watching this thing come full circle, and I remember every moment. You know what I'm saying? It was crazy.
No, I could definitely relate to you on like so many things since the beginning of the interview. From I said, just being raised in a single family household, single parent household with your moms and everything. So kind of relate to you on a lot of things, and you kind of unpacked it a lot with the mental health stuff too. You know what I'm saying? We're just going through that process of, you know what I'm saying, seeing your dreams this way, but then just actually what the reality in the situation is. You know what I'm saying? So I could definitely, you know what I'm saying, playing in the G League, playing in the D League at the time, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I know what the struggle was. I know what it was like then, and then having an injury, like I kind of like had a lot of similarities in my career, to where like I had an injury. I tore my ACL in Philadelphia with the 76ers in the summer, not under a contract and everything. So I just know how that feels.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The worst part of that is you can't fight, and this is like, it's that you have an injury, you can't, we got a fighting spirit. I could tell by everybody on the phone, we all got that fighting spirit. And, most people do. And life will zap you know what I mean? And you gotta go find it again, and they'll take it from you. You know what I mean? But you gotta go find it again. And literally, that injury thing, as you saying, bro, like it's that moment where you can't even fight back. Like, it's not like I can't run more sprints and get in better shape. I can't even like shoot more. I gotta sit down and watch time fly. And time slows down when you hurt. It slows all the way down.
Your mind get to going in all type of places it's not supposed to be in those moments, because physically you not at your, you know what I'm saying, your right capacity to work. So that mental start to take control. But overseas, choosing to go overseas after that 1 year in the G League, like, what was your reasoning and why? Probably because it was time to go get some money, huh?
Partly, yeah. It was a little bit of everything. Yeah, it was definitely time to get a couple dollars. I never signed like a huge deal overseas, but it was definitely more like, listen, when I finished my G League, I remember I think, because mind you, I signed it late. I signed late too. So I maybe had like, I feel like it was like $5,000 or $7,000, bro. And this is like, I thought I had some money at the time. So I'm like, okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got a couple of dollars. And then I paid rent, and then I ate, and then I was like, oh shit, You know what I'm saying? Then
Right
like
back,
that fast.
right back where we
Yeah, you
started.
get to see like, oh man, I probably should get some money. You know, and I seen a few guys like Pops Mensah who I heard him. You know, he was coming back and forth from Dallas
Shout out
and
Pops.
Jay Barea and these guys, and they was always talking about the experience and like. I seen actually Pops talking to another guy talking about, and I listen. I'm a listener. I'm always observant. Um, I seen him going back and forth with a guy about how long you should stay in the D League, and you know he's like, you know, at some point, you know, you there's some guys that was in the D League for a long time, and they weren't making it. And I was like, listen, I don't know if I want to. If I do well enough overseas, they can still see me, and I still need to be smart about finance and still need to be. So I wanted to bet on myself by going overseas. I feel like I'll be more of a feature player there. And you know, shit, I had to get some bread, man. Being honest, so I try to kill two birds with one stone. With that move.
On that
So
financial situation though, for like G League players, lower tier NBA players, does the NBA like supply like financial advisors for you guys to help you kind of like
Well, let
with
me
that?
tell you
Like,
this. Let me tell you this.
At
When
that
I
time,
played in the D League, yeah, was you? I think you was about to say it. Yeah, when I played in the D
go
League
ahead.
versus what it is, you probably about to say it too. Two totally different contracts. Like the money at the time, this is like I'm like telling him how old we are, Craig. Like you know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, boy, back in my day,
for real.
it's crazy. Really crazy for me to even say it, but like literally back in my day, like there was nothing there. Like I think the max contract was like 18 racks if he wasn't getting dropped down. So it wasn't even there was nothing to advise financially, like for a D League guy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's what we gonna tell you how to spend. Like you should buy like what at the grocery store. That's instead of buying Kellogg's, you should buy Food Lion, Savor drinks. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing they're gonna tell you at that level. So it was just no money. It was just so
It was literally the beginning. It was literally the beginning of like having an idea. Like
right.
so where it's at today, where the NBA has affiliates and they got revolving contracts, they got money invested, they got their system invested. It wasn't like that then. It wasn't no theater teams. Like it was savage. It was like what's the
you said it best. That's the word for it. It was savage, bro. You gotta think about it like
for
this.
real.
It's
For
the G
real.
League now because Gatorade is sponsored. Like when there was no Gatorade sponsorship, there was none of that.
Yep.
There was none of that.
There was none of that.
Imagine starting a league with no sponsorship. That's what it was.
especially coming like at the time you're a kid coming out of college,
Oh
like
man.
not used to having like your own income like that. That has to be like a culture shock almost. Like you probably think like getting $100 is a big deal. It's like, and you have no
I
one
thought I
helping
was
you with
doing
that.
it. Like I'm getting a check now. Like I'm like, okay, there's a check.
I thought I was
don't know what money is. Yeah, I don't know what money is at the time. I'm not saying I do now or anything like that, but like I don't at the time. I'm a kid for real. Like I never really had. I'm come from very humble beginnings. You know what I'm saying? And like, mom made sure I had food. I'm not one of those like crazy stories where we ain't, but we had. It was real. So that being said, I didn't know nothing about like how to manage the little bit that I had. If just to answer your question, but it wasn't much to manage anyway. It's just that's just the situation was what it was. You had to make do, and it was everybody. It was such a dope place. It was savage for sure. I can't. That word was so perfect. But it was also like for me, I like to be around it because everybody there was me. Everybody there had the same goal. Everybody was like, we were my team. It felt like I don't know. I can't speak for every team, but we was genuinely happy when somebody got called up. Like, yo, look at him. He's right here with us. You know what I'm saying? Like it's what it felt like to me at least. So that energy was like, okay, we all in this. We was competing against each other, and everybody wanted a shot. But like, it was also dope to be in that like that chamber where everybody was trying to figure out how to get to the next level.
So, in your Anthony Bourdain mentality, what was your experience like overseas, going from team to team, country to country, Spain, Netherlands, Germany, Belgium? Break that down for me.
Every year, I was optimistic and then frustrated. It was like because at the end of the day, I was still anybody that plays overseas knows shit is right around this time. I think anybody watching this from overseas will be like, "Yep, this is right around March." Where it's like it's been a long year, and it's like, you know. And I used to get on every contract. I used to get an NBA out clause, so like if the NBA ever called me, I could get out and with no penalty, because in the back of my mind, I was always trying to make it back. I went overseas, but the goal was always the league, always. You know what I'm saying? I turned down contracts with larger money because I thought the situation would be better for me to put up better numbers to give me an opportunity to get back to America. And so it was always fun going into a new state. I mean, a new country, a new city, a new situation. Walking into a new world, like, oh, this is cool. You know, I should take videos. You know, I'm in all these cool cities in Europe, and I knew it was a blessing. I was having a great time, but then towards the end of the season, it's like, damn, I'm still here. I'm not where I want to be, and you know, that's another that's where towards the end of the year it'd be frustrating. I'd be like, what else do I have to do to make it back? But again, you just keep trying to build on each situation, and it wasn't about the check. When I say build on for any overseas guys, I was trying to build on each situation, trying to make sure that the following season was a better situation. It's not always about the money. You want to have, you want to get paid, you know what I'm saying? But sometimes, like, literally, I had EuroLeague opportunities, and I picked a team that was going to let me be the feature guy and allow me the opportunity to get noticed. You know what I mean? So I always would try to strategize the overall career from a longevity perspective than the media pockets or media glory of playing on a top team. I just was thinking, like, all right, how do I get back? So that was basically my European experience, was highs and lows and strategizing, trying to figure out how I can get back to America.
So you just raised a question for me now, and I think you got to answer it. Do most players who go overseas feel like their goal is to get back to the NBA? And if they don't get back to the NBA, is it a failed mission, even though they may have had success in Europe?
From their perspective, there are guys that's like that. I have a very close friend who I remember having a really deep conversation about that, and some guys do feel that way. They do feel like it's a failed mission. I told them, listen, it's not. You know, it's really not. I remember my agent told me young, if you're able to be paid to play this game, you know, that's an honor in itself. And if you're able to do it at length, it's a miracle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He said it way better than I did, but like that's basically what it was. And you know, we work really hard. If you can get a scholarship from this game, man, and graduate from college, you know, get that degree, fellas. Anybody that's watching, but and if you're able to get school paid for, you know, and that means you're elite, you know, in itself. I think that's awesome. I think if you're able to go and play overseas for a while at all, if you're able to even get one check, get a flight paid for that you didn't have to pay for, you know, I think that's awesome, because there's so much in the world to see. It's bigger than basketball. So, you know, the overall, the European experience is so dope, and there's so much that comes with it. You know, there's pros to it that we sometimes don't see because of the goal. For those guys that have that NBA goal, and some guys are going overseas knowing they overseas guys, and there's nothing wrong with that either. You know, it's just everybody's got a different story. But you know, I always tell my guys, I used to tell Mook especially, you know, smell these roses before you under them. You know what I mean? So it's good that you you going through these things, like smell the roses. It's dope that you accomplishing these things, and be proud of yourself for doing that.
So let's fast forward a little bit now. You're 28. You have years of experience overseas, G League experience. You end up on the Knicks. How does that happen? Like that's so unheard of, especially back then, having someone come from overseas with no NBA experience just get signed to an NBA roster like that. Can you walk us through like how that happened and how that came about for you?
Yeah, very, very long story, but again, I look up. You know what I mean? I say, I think that was nothing but God given. You know, you got to think I was in Belgium. I wasn't even in, like, I was playing in European competition, and mind you, I was killing. Like, that was the year Darren Williams. I think he had 50 or something like that, and I was number 2 in Euro Challenge in scoring. Euro Challenge, this wasn't Euro League or nothing, but it was still, you know, we playing in all, you know, top teams in multiple countries.
Yeah.
And I was doing my thing. So from a basketball standpoint, I was doing well. I was making noise. And, you know, they found me. You know, long story short. Shout out to my agent. He was pushing. Allen Houston and him was having conversations, and you know, I could tell you all the details, and it's a very, very long story, but that's the gist of it, bro. Like, it just, you know, it's God given, and you know, a lot of things came at the right time.
What was the process? Like, what was going on in your head? Because that I just want to kind of dive into that just a little bit more because, like, you was basically like kind of paving the way at this time. Like Jordan was saying, like it was unheard of. So what was really going through your head? Because I know you were saying the goal the whole time was to get back into the league, and now to be able to, you know what I'm saying, make that happen. Like, what was like your real conversations with yourself?
Well, I mean, I would talk to my coaches, and like shout out to Yves Dufresne. I say he's my favorite coach of all time. He used to say, like, every year you're over here, the window is going to get smaller and smaller for what you're trying to do. And you know, anybody that played with me knew I had the talent to do it, but was it going to happen? You know, it's I keep looking up. Like, we see what you got in the cards, and you know, you just have to do your part, and that's what I was trying to do. That was the conversation I had with myself. I remember my last season overseas. I think I didn't give up, but it was like almost like a look. That window is. I'm 27 years old. You know what? I remember saying it to myself, like, listen, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm giving them hell. You know, I'm like, whoever's in front of me is gonna pay for this. Like, this is just like, I think. Shout out to Tyron, make him pay. Tyron Johnson. That's he knows what I'm talking about. I told him my story, but you know, that was it for me. It was like, listen, you know, whoever's in front of me, they're gonna have to feel my pain for still being here. And that was like one of my mottos for the year. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. It was never like I'm gonna make it to the NBA this year. It's gonna happen. Like, I kind of was like, this keeps happening every year. You know what? I'm on a whole nother type time this year. NBA or no NBA, I don't know what time it is. You know, and that's the first time I had MVP season, and like I got MVP of the country that year. And I always told my coach that my coach Eves that, you know, I always thought getting MVP was gonna be my ticket for them was to be loud enough noise for them to see me. Because I never had a summer league, I never had these opportunities, you know. And I was like, if I get MVP one time, maybe I get on the summer league. You know what I'm saying? And literally, that's what happened. It took how many years overseas? I led leagues in scoring, never got MVP. That year I did. I finally got it, and next thing you know, I was with the league, with the Knicks in the summer league, and next thing you know, I was in the Garden. That's all she wrote.
So, being that it is your first year in the Garden, that's the smell of the popcorn. What was your welcome to the league moment?
My welcome to the league, like, oh, this is different. Was not in the Garden. It was at Sacramento, and I remember, mind you, I've been playing overseas for a while, and I forgot it was a steal. There's a GIF of this online somewhere. My boys, they mess with me sometimes and send it to me. But it's like, so I got a steal, or somebody got a steal. They pass it to me, and it's a fast break. Now overseas, like, I'm playing against guys. The only athletes were like my size, right? But usually the guards like run past your knees, right? So like I'm like, I usually, like, you know, it's not a Euro step, but you know, you slow it down, you let them run by, and you lay it up and make sure they don't clip you or something, because it gets dirty overseas. If you play it over there, like,
Yeah.
it's, anybody will tell you.
Yeah.
I'm used to seeing this, and I'm seeing Brooks running me down, but I'm thinking, I see him in the corner of my eyes, but I'm like, okay, he's gonna run by, I'm gonna get this lay, so I do my normal slow down, but he's not like, he's gathering, but you know, the basketball happens fast, but it's like it's slow, if you understand you know what I'm saying, right? So I'm like gathering, and I remember just going up, and this guy, I don't know how tall Brooks is, maybe 5'9", 5'10", and I'm 6'8", 6'9", and I go up, and he glasses my, like, probably two hands, and Sacramento goes crazy. Ooh, and they come down, they pass to Fredette. He hits a big three, and they smoking us. They beating us by like 20 at the time. We end up coming back and making it a game. But yeah, he glassed my shit. I just remember feeling like, wow, this is really different. This guy's 5'10". How did he do? He's this athlete. So like, it's one of those, like, I'm looking at Amari dunking on everybody in high school again. Like, okay, this is different. Like, I got to figure this out right now. And I definitely got an earful in the locker room at halftime. But like,
yeah, what coach say? You getting your ish blasted by a 5'10" guy.
My teammates are like, "Why don't you just dunk that?" And in my head, I'm
Yeah.
like, "If you do that, like when they running you down like that,
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?" So
you
like, I'm
slow
like,
down.
all right,
Yeah,
let me protect myself. I'm just conditioned. I've been overseas 6 years, 5 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, that's what I do. I get the bucket. You know what I'm saying? I'm not missing that. You know, so but yeah, I never seen nobody that size go up with me. They only try to throw me off. You know what I'm saying? Because they can't go up. Nah, they can go up here. Welcome to the NBA. And so that was my moment at halftime. Everybody, screaming, "Dunk! Why don't you dunk that?" This, that, and the coach is like, "Whatever happens, you don't stop playing." You know what I'm saying? Because it was like, oh, and I froze for a second, like, damn. And I didn't get back, and I guess that's part of how the three came. You know what I'm saying? Boom! It is, boom, boom, boom. You get punch drunk in those moments, but Kurt Thomas, pulled me to the side, and when everybody was done yelling at me before we went out, and was like, "You keep doing what you're doing. Go out there." What he literally said was, "Go out there and give us 20 like you do, and finish the game." And I really did. I had 20 something. I brought us back. We got close. We ended up losing a close game, but he got me back center. So shout out to Kurt, because he was always in my ear, making me feel, you need those vets that just pull you back.
Kirk was my vet too in Portland, man. Shout out to Kirk Thomas, man. He just got an Instagram, man. He's a cool guy.
He's on IG now?
Yeah, he got an IG now.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm adding. Yeah,
we gonna send this to him. We're gonna for sure send this to him.
Kurt was so instrumental in any success that I had there, man. Like, literally, like, because it's tough. New York is not for everybody. Let me tell you right now. It is not. And Kurt, and I have a lot of vets on that team that helped me. But Kurt was my guy, and literally, like, when it's like he could smell it on me when I was like, fuck. He'd come over, coach, come on, young son, and he'd talk to you and get me back square, whatever I needed to hear at the time. He might give me a kick in the butt. He might, I might be getting too high on my laurels, and hey, lock in.
Yeah.
I needed that too, and he was there for whatever I needed that whole season. So yeah, shout out to Kurt.
And you ended up having a great rookie year with the Knicks. You got a 33-point game, 2 points away from Mike's record, by the way. Just wanted to throw that out there. You had an Eastern Conference Rookie of the Month nod, and you finished 8th in Rookie of the Year voting. Speaking of those adjustments you made, though, like, what were some of those major adjustments you had to make right off the bat, coming from, that different basketball overseas, coming now into the NBA?
The light. No one can explain it to you. Especially in New York, because I went from 1,800 people in the whatever you want to call it, gymnasium the year before in Belgium. Love those people over there. But 1,800 people in that gymnasium to Madison Square Garden. You can't explain the light. Like, you can't explain the difference. You can't explain me being from Jersey and now my people are really watching every game. And you can't, mama's there. And, you know what I'm saying? And aunts and uncles. And
mama there, P there.
Yeah, exactly. Weezy there, all that, right? And then Juan there, right? So you can't really explain. Yeah, you can't really explain what that feels like, as far as like, it's just different. it's just different, and you gotta figure it out.
That's full circle right there for sure.
Yeah, it is.
It's a team I grew up watching. I grew up watching Starks and Ewing and all these guys. So for me, that was I'm like, how about this? And now Starks is there and Ewing is shaking my hand. And like, Ewing was with Charlotte, I think, at the time, on their bench. But like, I could tell he had different. We actually spoke about it a lot of times. He congratulated me on my success at the time. And this is like a guy, like, again, I was a kid in Jersey looking at you, going to war against everybody in the NBA. You're one of the best players in the league, Patrick Ewing. You know what I mean? So yeah, it did come full circle. So I kept saying, like, it's such a blessing to think I was on the couch with a broken foot. And next thing you know, this is, some of these guys I grew up idolizing is showing me respect. So that was crazy.
Now, after this stellar Knicks season, you signed a deal with the Pacers.
Mhm.
How explain that? Like now, you were really wanted, and one, was that the first team that gave you an offer? And two, just explain like how you felt that you were solidified now. Like, all right, like this ain't no non-guaranteed joint.
It's a
It
little bit
wasn't.
of
It
validation.
wasn't. Say again.
No, I was just saying it's a little bit of validation, a little bit.
For sure, for sure. It wasn't the first offer. And even the Knicks gave an offer, but they didn't have any money. Like you look at that team, that roster, like it was everybody was paid. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't expect to have me, and they were trying to make moves to be able to get me some money, but Indiana came with significantly more, and Larry Bird gangstered me. So like what happened was this is exactly what happened. So this is not I don't think I ever told nobody this story outside of my circle. But literally the call came and Larry was like Larry put the offer on the table and was like, you got 24 hours, what you want to do? So it wasn't no thought process. Like I had other offers too. Other teams like if he wants to come, like it was kind of more chill about it. And then I was thinking about it, and then the number was one of the highest. It wasn't actually well, it was the highest. There was another one that was like more for less of a time, like one, for like a 1+1.
Yeah.
But there was like it had three. It was 3 years at team option, which we ended up rejecting and all this. But I remember they put it on the table, and I sent it to text to all my teammates, and I was like, bro, and that we had just came out of there, going to war with these guys, and I was like, I didn't want to do it. I didn't even want to do it, and I saw the money, and I was like, I still didn't want to do it because it didn't feel good. And everybody told me, get the money, son. Like everybody, get the money. What's wrong with you? Go get the money. I remember even Melo sent me a text like, I said Indiana's offering me, and then he was like, no, oh, we can figure it out here. We still like still talking about it. Like, all right, let's see. And then I told him how much it was, and he was like, listen. Like all of these guys, it was actually so dope because all of those guys was literally genuinely happy and wanted to see me be all right. I was still thinking competition. We just got the playoffs. Like, like, man, these dudes, like, bro, I'm trying to go at these guys next year. I had a different mentality. This is my team. This is the first team that brought me in. Like, this is my team. I'm a Jersey kid. Like, I felt all the like I don't want to leave. And everybody was like, "Boy, you crazy? You sign that contract, and go on about your business." That was most of the conversation. So I ended up taking it, and on their advice, honestly, because if a few guys would have told me not to take it, I'd have turned the money down. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was just on it like that because in my brain I always betted on myself. So I'd have took another year and seen what happened. But everybody said sign, go, congratulations, son. So that's what it was.
But
Like
let's
when
just talk
Melo
about.
tells you to sign a contract, you got to sign a contract.
Say it again?
That's pretty. I feel like if Carmelo Anthony tells you to sign a
Yeah.
contract, you sign a contract.
Yeah,
That's what Melo do.
Yeah, Melo cool, man, and that's the thing. Like everybody, I don't know what they say. I've heard mixed with stuff on the internet, never from nobody who played with him. He's a great teammate, man. Melo to me was a great teammate. I remember I missed our last shot of the season in the playoffs. And we was trying to draw up a play for him, and they like try to like they it was like denying him, and I was like, I remember trying to get it to him, and we slipped, and I said, "Fuck it, I could score. Let me shoot." Nope, didn't go down for me. I thought I was gonna have a moment, it didn't work, and I was like, man, I told him in the locker room, I was like, bro, I probably should have got you the ball. He was like, don't even do that, don't do that, get out your head now. Like, you made a play, live with it. It's cool. Like, and a lot of guys might have been not have been. Might have been like, yeah, man, like, give me, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, see, he made sure to tell me the things that was so it wouldn't linger in my brain. He's like, nah, it happens, bro. Like, that was the right play. Like, don't even do that to your head. Don't even do that to yourself. I'll never forget that. Like that's what you need. That's what teammates are supposed to be. So shout out to Melo too, man.
I know. But let's just talk about how Larry Bird gave you like the Denzel training day. Like, you want to go to jail? You want to go
that's
home?
What it was.
Son?
I had a day. I had sent those texts in a day. I was like, because I had to make a decision now. Like, I'm like, all right, this is a big offer for me to say no to. I did realize that, and that was the message. Like, if you don't make a decision in 24 hours, this deal's gone. And Larry Bird, a gangster, we ain't bluffing. I don't believe him to be no kind of bluff. So, salute to Larry too. Always was good to me.
Shout out.
I'm very glad I made that decision. Um, Made more friends, more lifetime friendships from being out there. It was just, it's all a dream come true, man. It all was, man. Shout out to everybody that helped in the process.
All right, now going into finishing your NBA career with, you know what I'm saying, my hometown, Milwaukee Bucks. You know what I'm saying? Can you kind of just talk about, your time there after playing 24 games with the Bucks, and then kind of going back overseas? Can you kind of just walk us through that process after
Yeah,
leaving Indiana?
yeah. It was a great experience. Jason Kidd came and got me. Long story short, I just played with him with New York. And then he was a head coach, and he came and signed me, and I had a great experience, man. I got to play with a really young team, a baby Giannis, a young Chris. He wasn't a baby then; he was still killing. And a bunch of guys. It was a great cast. Shout out to Jabari Parker and all. They was very young and talented, very young and talented, and it was that type of season. Long story short, I did not finish the year there, but I played. I was there for the majority, I would say. I didn't play a lot on that team. They were trying to get their guys minutes and all that, and I understood that. That's what it was. That's what it was about. But it was great to be around a young Giannis and got to see. I was telling everybody early, like, this kid is. I knew he was good in Indiana. I remember watching on this. I was watching. He was playing like garbage minutes, and I was just watching from the sideline. I was like, that's different. Like, nah, he was doing some things like, yeah, that kid's gonna be an all-star, because you could tell he was a baby. Like that's, and people was like, no, like whatever. I'm like, all right. I got on his team. I was telling everybody he's gonna be one of the greatest basketball players ever lived. And like, once I seen it, like up close, I played because I play with Hall of Famers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I played with a bunch of them. I played with Jason Kidd. I played with Carmelo. I played with. I mean, PG. I think he's as elite as they come. Whatever you call him, Hall of Famer or not, but like I think he's as elite as they come. He's a two-way guy, MVP candidate. He's been, he's elite. I played with some guys that can go get it, right?
Shout out
And
PG.
yeah, shout out PG. And then I saw this kid, and I remember like just things about him like you can't explain. You know what I'm saying? Like, how did he do that? And you could see he was still figuring it out. Like, he was doing that. That's the time when he was doing the 1-2 step and trying to figure out if he could, like, you could see in his eyes. He's like, oh, I can dunk that. I'm like, what? Because I told you, I'm a guy that sits back and I'm watching guys. I process things. You know what I mean? And I'm watching him literally figure it out on the floor. I'm like, oh, when he learns he can do that, he's gonna start doing it. Yeah, he started, and you see now he does it every night. Like, you know what I mean? Like, whatever he wants to do. And the thing that was so special about him wasn't just his abilities, was that at night he's working out. He's there before practice. He's doing the weights. He's doing extra shooting after practice. Then he's coming back what we used to call night school. There's only a few of us there.
Yeah.
And he's doing night school every time. Every time I'm in there, and I was proud of myself. That was just my regimen, was getting extra shots. Like, I didn't have those athletic abilities. I had to do all the work.
So I like to call mine a graveyard shift.
Yeah, graveyard shift, exactly. And he was putting that in. Him, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay. And you can see in his eyes, his pain was different. He's playing for different reasons. Like, his passion is not going nowhere. He's not going to slow down. He's not going to win a championship and be like, this is cool. You know what I'm saying? He's not that type. He's a whole different type of beast. I was like, he's going to be one of the greats for sure. And I'm telling you, at the time, people was laughing at me. And I don't care what nobody say. He's well on his way. And I think he has Mount Rushmore ability. I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be Mount Rushmore of NBA. I've said that. I can say that with confidence.
You got directly right into the next question I was about to ask you. So, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. I was about to ask you, you know what I'm saying? How did you see that young Giannis to the Giannis he is today? You know what I'm saying?
He worked for it. I'll say that. Everything he's doing right now, he worked for it. And
definitely.
It's you see him now. He coming down shooting the 3-ball, 2 people contesting him, like, and I'm not surprised because the stuff that he's gonna learn, you can learn. can't learn what he does athletically. You can learn how to shoot the ball.
Yeah.
You can do that. You know, if you're brave enough to miss, if you're brave enough to like to play through those misses. Like you see him shoot an air ball and like he come right back. He got heart, man. The kid's got heart. You know, and that's I've always admired that about him. He's just a tough kid, comes from a humble background as well. And you can see it when he plays. He plays with that dog, with that energy. I'm so proud of where he's came in. Like and I think he's it's only getting started. That's the crazy part. Like he's far from his peak, in my opinion. And he's already 2-time MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, All Star. You know what I'm saying? 27.
Yeah.
Was he 27?
27.
Yeah. Come on, like what? So champion and champion. Excuse me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the kid is gonna do some big things. So proud of him, man. Because I've seen that work. So and he deserves it.
All right, so you going back overseas. Can you take a minute to just talk about the mindset and you having to leave the NBA and going back overseas and just, you know, the mental process that you had to do to kind of like kill your ego and just all of the things that you had to fight with just making that transition, going back overseas, and like what were your expectations with that?
Yeah, I've been through some things, and my physical wasn't the same, and I understood where I was. And long story short, I was still honestly at that stage, I was frustrated for sure, but like at that stage, I knew, you know, like it's still a blessing, you know, like I got to go to 2 more really cool countries. I went to Andorra and I went to Turkey, and it was 2 great experiences, man. Like it was. I was very blessed to continue to have 2 more years. And I'm not a guy that didn't enjoy his time overseas. Like I said, I had, you know, the roller coaster of like, wow, I'm still here. I haven't made it to the NBA. But now in these two seasons, I already made it, you know? So now it's like I'm talking to the younger guys. You know, I was on teams where guys were like asking me questions and I would think I was inspiring them to do more. And I think you're going to see some guys that I've played on that are actually going to sneak in the league. One of my, you know, some of these guys are like doing big things in EuroLeague now. It's exciting. Like it was good this part of my life. I love to give back part. Like I don't feel like I have much more to prove for a guy that had my trajectory. You know what I mean? Like for me to the little bit that I did achieve, I'm very proud of, and I was able to be content with that at that stage. And it's time to go back over.
Rhino Vision.
So yeah, this segment right here, Cope, is called Rhino's Vision. And what I like to do is I always like to tell our guests to walk us through their favorite play, but I need it to be detailed because I need the viewers to understand what's going on in that situation. Okay? So I need you to call the play out, the favorite play, favorite situation, and your favorite position and how you scored.
Favorite actual play has to be game winner against the Bucks. And I remember I was supposed to pass the ball and I said no. And I was with Indiana.
Yeah, no.
So like how did they draw the play up then? How they draw the play up? Like where was you positioned
I was supposed to like the angle. I'm still trying to, I'll be honest, I don't have that LeBron, like well, you know, LeBron.
Yeah.
Yeah,
all right, look. So was you on the elbow or was you on the wing?
Yeah, no, I was like in the middle of the like I came up, I was like kind of on the elbow and I came like to the top of the key to get the catch. I'm supposed to like hand it off for Rasul. Shout out to Rasul Butler.
Shout out to Rasul.
Rasul Butler, for sure.
But I was supposed to hand it off. I remember him telling me next time you give me the ball, he was messing with me. It was fun. But I was supposed to hand it off. And he came by. I'm almost positive it was Rasul, but it was designed for it to end up in his hands, pretty sure. And I handed it off to him, or I faked the handoff, and I just drove. And I went base, and I remember I went from the top of the key and shot a floater. Who did I shoot the floater over? I shot the floater over somebody for a game winner in Indiana when I was with Indiana playing against the Bucks. That was probably my favorite basketball moment. My favorite moment was like hugging my mom after the first game, but my favorite in game moment, yeah, I know I'm a mama's boy.
Ain't
But
nothing wrong with being a mama's boy.
Yeah.
We all been raised by moms, single. You know what I'm saying?
for sure.
Shout
Shout
out,
out to
mama. Love you.
mom.
I love you.
Right. But no, my favorite in-game moment was that, probably like just hitting that game winner, like again coming from where I came from and all the things I had experienced.
Yeah.
And winner in the NBA, like that was. Before that play happened, I was sitting on the bench with Lance, and you'll see like after I hit the shot, like you see me point at Lance because I told him like they're gonna need me to hit this game winner. Watch, they're gonna call. Vogel's gonna call my number. I'm gonna hit the game winner. And I told him. So like, and after I hit the shot, you'll see me point at him. And Lance is like going screaming on the, like you see his eyes get big in the replay. It's on YouTube. This shit is dope.
Nah, let's just talk about that manifestation right there. He gonna put me in the game, gonna need me to get the game winner. I'm gonna hit the game winner. Like I put it out there. Universe, do your thing.
That's exactly what happened, you know. And I was sitting. It was because it was, you know, it was like end of a close game, right? So I'm sitting down, and you know how they go offense, defense lineups, and you know it is what it is. I wasn't a defender, right? So they had me on the bench for the defensive unit. The defensive unit gets to stop, and in my head, I'm playing chess with it. I'm like, he's gonna have to call me to go get this, and it wasn't drawn up for me, but I got a catch, and I was like, okay, we going. I'm taking this shot. I had I thought about should I run the play, but no, I've been breaking plays for my whole life. Like I just that's what it is. Like, nah, I'm taking this. So I'm glad it worked out. I'm glad I didn't get, you know, because I've had a few
I
moments
got
like
the
I
win.
said.
Yeah, I got the win. That's all that matters.
It is what it is. It worked out.
Nah, that's funny.
All right, we'll go on to the next segment. We call it "Give a Dog a Bone." It's just rapid fire questions.
Okay.
We'll start off. This is the Underdogs podcast. We want to know what your favorite dog breed is.
Husky.
Husky. Favorite musical artist.
Sade.
Favorite shoe.
Jordan.
Yeah. I know the shoe too.
Yeah. I don't know, you know what's crazy? I don't know the number.
I think it's
don't know the
13.
number, bro.
It's
I think
13.
it's 13 or 11.
With
but,
the hologram in the bubble inside, right?
Yeah. I see the 13 or the 11. The black cat is what they call it, though.
Yeah.
Are the black cats?
All black, because I wear them to play and I wear them walking around some chill.
Yeah, he got like a GTA closet full of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to pick a color? No, it's the same shoe over. You ever seen Dr. Dre NWA video? He had on all black, like a Cope shoe. Like, it's the same shoe.
It's a fact. It's actual fact.
He's loyal. We can appreciate it.
He is loyal. He's loyal. He loves that shoe.
Favorite teammate you had in the NBA?
Favorite teammate, Iman Shumpert.
Who is your role model in life and in basketball?
My mother. In basketball, my brother. Yeah.
Okay. Favorite city to play in, NBA or overseas?
Favorite city to play, like that I played against or for?
Either.
Favorite city, either.
Played.
My favorite city overseas is Barcelona by far. My favorite city in the world. I like it better than American cities too, being honest. It is. But basketball, NBA, I would say, gotta say New York. It was my first opportunity. New York.
Favorite hobby other than basketball?
Craig, should I tell him?
Yeah.
Music.
Music, okay. What type?
He's a really good artist. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, he sends me some good things, man. Like, I like his progression. I like where he started. I like where he is now. His flow's very nice. I hope at some point the world gets to hear it because they need to. It's really Mike T. It's nice.
Hold up. We need
I'm not even gassing.
We need
I'm not even gassing. I'm just keeping it 100.
We need an intro song.
Cope got bars.
Tap me in.
I'll surprise you.
It doesn't even sound like him, bro. Don't sound like him at all. You don't even know it's Cope. I'll tell you that.
I think got perspective though. I could just tell by just gauging off the interview. He definitely got perspective. So I'm interested.
Yeah, some stuff is coming. Actually, believe it or not, I know I've been saying that forever, Craig, but it's coming. It's coming. I'll just sooner than you believe.
Got it.
Hardest player to guard.
The best players to me was LeBron. Was he the hardest to guard? You know who I had my worst nights? It wasn't even on the court for real. Was one-on-ones with J.R. Smith. I'll be honest.
Yeah, JR tough.
It was
JR,
tough.
that's a tough guard.
That's a tough guard.
Yeah.
Denver, JR, like we played a lot of one-on-one. Long nights, man. I ain't gonna say a lot to you. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
because he's really strong, but then he's really quick and he has a really good jump shot.
And his footwork is
He's athletic.
And
You know what I'm saying?
like, he's got handles. He can shoot from anywhere.
He
And he can fly. And he's strong. He's stronger than he looks, man. I'm telling you. And
it's just like he can jab, then take that dribble, go through the leg, bump you to throw you off balance. And around the back, fade away or in the rim.
Opposite leg, he got all of the tricks.
Yeah, shout out JR, man.
JR got a package, a real
I kind of feel bad for him though, because
My
like
Smith brother.
I feel like a lot of the younger generation, like the people coming up now, are only going to remember him for that mess up in the finals.
That's because of social media, man.
Yeah. If he had social media, that shit that he used to be doing in open gyms,
those dunks too.
Come on.
Saying him and James White. I just seen James White post something where he jumped for the free throw line, went through the leg. Y'all remember that?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Flight, that's my guy too, man.
Shout out James.
What are your thoughts on playing in the Big Three this year?
I've been thinking about it for a long time. What up, Scott? T. Scott. I know, right, Craig?
I'm going to ask you. I ask him every summer. Craig
and I will talk. I think
I'm gonna tag Anthony and the Fourth Man Pod on this. They will make sure everyone knows you want to play in the Big Three, and then it'll happen.
No, we gonna tag a Big Three. No worries.
Yeah,
we'll make it happen. We'll talk about it.
Oh, I don't know if we want everybody to know.
Mike's like,
you know what I mean? Then we might want to keep that G14 classified.
me and Cope know we always wanted to play on the team together, especially in recent years by us playing a lot of pickup. So like, man,
actual facts, and we play well together too. So
they really will.
Okay.
Dude, what was your funniest moment, man? You gotta have one in the guard. Somebody said something funny, dude, in the crowd. Like, yo, look at his sneakers. Is he hooping in Tim's?
One of my funniest moment. I mean, honestly, I don't see. Hopefully, I got time. Yeah, it'll happen. So, it wasn't really funny, but when I met Tracy Morgan, it's one of my favorite stories. It was really dope. It was really dope. So, I met Tracy Morgan in the summertime. It was actually one summertime. It was like right before training camp. We was at a EA Sports event. He walks up to me. He's like, I know you. You know, Tracy, he got like a loud, his inner voice, and it's not inner type. It's loud. It's always just loud, right? So he's like, I know you. And I'm like, oh, shit. And at the time, I'm not thinking nobody knows me. Like, I'm thinking like, everybody used to make fun of me and say I look like Waka Flocka, right? So I was thinking like, he really thought that I was him. And I was really nervous because he's a comedian, and when he realizes I'm not him, there's gonna be way more jokes, and I don't got jokes like that, right? So I was real nervous. And he said, I know you. I said, nah, I think you got somebody else. He said, nah, you came from overseas. I was leaning back and said, I told you, I know you. I was like, oh shit. Yeah. And I was like, okay, what's good? How you doing, man? Nice to meet you. And we started talking about the city. He was like, he said, you believe in dinosaurs? And I was like, yeah, I believe in dinosaurs. He's like, you ever saw one? And I was like, nah. He said, yeah, don't believe the hype. And it was really like, it wasn't a funny moment, but it was like,
it was real, yeah.
Telling me like, you know, when he was preparing me for the city, you know, I said, don't believe the hype. When they say bad things about you, don't believe the hype. When they say good things about you, don't believe the hype. Go at these niggas like, you know, I see your talent, like you really got something, like don't get too high to start to play here, but like, you know, we love you already, and good luck. It was like that type of. So it wasn't really funny, but a funny guy, I guess. And it was
kind of funny because he throws it off, but then like he reeled it back in
just like that off the hip. You believe in dinosaurs? We was talking for a second, but then it just came out of nowhere. Like I was like, you know, because I'm telling him I'm a fan of his, like respect to him, and you know, and he was like, "You believe in dinosaurs?" I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" So, but it was a dope message about it. So, you know. I remember that. That was a funny moment. and he was sitting next to 50 when I was telling you about that game.
So yeah, the full circle.
Yeah, when he was sitting next to 50, that's the game. I didn't play at all the first half. Really, everybody gets this. JR gets into with coach. Some Melo wasn't playing. This, that, and the third, and I played the whole second half. I had 29 and a half with 50 Cent watching and Tracy Morgan, who I just told me.
Did you get to tell 50?
I didn't get to talk. I never got to talk to 50. It was he's been in places that I've been, but that's like one of those guys. Like I remember that moment from my.
We're gonna send this to 50, man.
We'll see.
We're gonna see it 50. Cool. That'll be dope, man. Because you need to hear this story, man. That's dope.
Yeah, I respect this story, man. I always, it was one of those motivators for me. Like, you never know where you could be, and just keep going despite whatever happens to you.
Yeah. All right, we'll wrap up this episode as we do every week. What is the biggest lesson you've learned throughout your entire journey?
Patience through the process. No matter what happens, I tell my people, like, the worst thing that could have happened is they let me get in the NBA, because now I think anything's possible. So I think at the end of the day, I've learned that, I have new goals now outside of basketball, new things I want to, conquer that are not going to be easy, just like it wasn't easy to get to the league. And, let my story tell everybody, like, it's possible. And I've already taught myself. So now we're just going to do it again.
I appreciate your time, man. You definitely embody, the story and everything we trying to promote, everything that we are promoting, with this platform as an underdog, bro. Like, so appreciate you. Take my hat off to you.
I appreciate it. I am an underdog, so, I'm honored to be a part of this. So I appreciate y'all's time, man. So straight like that.
No doubt. When we get these shirts ordered, you got one coming for you.
I'm gonna rep it.
And then
day.
let the viewers know where they can find you at on your platforms. IG,
Optimist Cope IG. I'm not like heavy on social media, but I'm on there. I usually just send Craig memes all day. That's pretty much all it is. But but Optimist Cope on IG. You can follow me on there, and some interesting things coming. You'll see. Craig already knows.
Word. Thanks, X Factor.
Dope, man, by the way.
Love, fellas. Salute.
That's going to do it for episode 9 of the Underdogs podcast. Thank you guys for listening, watching, however you're consuming. See you guys next week.